President Muhammadu Buhari says climate change, terrorism, unconstitutional change of government threatens attainment of AU Agenda 2063. Federal government, states and local government councils shares a total of 902 billion naira November 2022 federal account revenue. Russian forces fired 60 missiles and carried out drone attacks across Ukraine, killing 2. And in sports, Portugal football sacks manager Fernando SANTOS following the team's World Cup exit. This is MLC TV News, reaching you live from the city of Lokoja, the Confluence City. I am Morno Balagbobo. Thanks for joining us. President Muhammadu Buhari on Thursday in Washington, D.C., USA, warned that unconstitutional regime change, terrorism, and effects of climate change in Africa may undermine the ability of states to achieve the Agenda 2063. Buhari told his counterparts at the ongoing U.S.-Africa Leaders Summit, it is evident that these developments negatively impact national, regional, and continental stability and undermine our drive towards AU Agenda 2063 and our flagship projects, silencing the guns in Africa. However, the president expressed hope that the threats will not trump the unity of purpose shared amongst member states. Speaking on the topic, partnering on Agenda 2063, a peaceful and secure Africa, Buhari said Africa's security and development landscape had undergone significant transformation over the past decades. He urged member states to quell the resurgence of conflicts in their regions through inclusive governance, constitutionalism, and the strengthening of African Union mediation support and conflict prevention mechanisms. Buhari added that without good governance anchored on credible elections that are free, fair, credible, transparent, development efforts will remain futile and citizens' lives will be worse off. Therefore, he is poised to conduct violence-free elections in the 2023 general elections in Nigeria. The Federation Account Allocation Committee (FAC) has shared the total sum of 902 billion naira November 2022 Federation account revenue to the federal government, states and local government councils. This was contained in a communique issued at the end of the committee's meeting for December 2022. A statement by the Director, Information, Press and Public Relations, Henshaw Ogwike, Office of the Accountant General of the Federation, shows that of the total distributable revenue comprised distributable statutory revenue of 681 billion naira, distributable value-added tax value of 202 billion naira, exchange gain revenue of 7.164 billion, and 10.9 billion electronic money transfer levy revenue. The balance in the excess crude account ECA was $473,000, and according to the communique, in the month of November 2022, oil and gas royalties and petroleum profit tax recorded significant increases, while import and excise duties increased marginally. However, value-added tax and companies' income tax decreased considerably. The eternal crisis rocking the National Union of Agriculture and allied employees seemed to have deepened on Tuesday when a faction led by Obafemi Oyenubi was locked out from their secretariat over impending election matters. Obafemi, armed with a letter from the parent ministry, had mobilized his followers at the secretariat to resolve, as directed by the ministry, that election be held within 1 month, but was denied entry.
We are here because of a protracted crisis in this union, in which we petitioned the Honorable Minister for Labour on the need to comply with the agreement reached with the other group of Simon Ashabe. And on 2nd of December, the ministry replied that what we are talking about is that we have not matched the staffers of this union. We have not done the state council election to put people in place. And what we are seeing is that the Ashabe group dominated the secretariat and said they give us a suspension, in which we have different NEC meeting in which we suspended them as well. But the minister said no suspension from both sides. All of us will go back within 1 month. We should go and make the house better and report back to the ministry. And we thought it behoves us to come down and let them be aware that we received a letter on this matter, that we want them to put a date so that we can be able to meet. If not, the ministry said they will put up a caretaker committee here. So that is why we are here today with our letter to them. But when we came here, all what we see is the police arresting us to the area commander office, that they don't know why we are here. And by the time we now explain issues and documents to show to the area commander, gracefully she said there's no case, that when we are not pulling anything down, we are not fighting anybody, we have come here with civil mind to say, let us have a meeting and discuss within the time limit of the Honorable Minister letter.
Members of the other faction reported to the police, who promptly sealed up the premises. He promised to report back to the ministry for advice on way forward towards organizing an election before the deadline.
But all what we are doing is that we want to make sure that we work with the time limit of the Honorable Minister, that we should meet within 1 month and resolve this matter. So we was in with them. When we went to the area commander office, before we come back, they locked the gate against us, in which I think is not even reasonable enough. But no problem. All what we know is that the truth must be told.
In a telephone conversation with our reporter, the president of the group, Ankeva Davis, said they are working hard to meet the ministry deadline of January 2nd, 2023. They are not interested in crisis in the union. The Association of Nigerian Female Students, Kogi State Chapter, has charged young females on proper living in life. The association, through the state coordinator, Sabdat Jimo, who organized a day mentorship program held in Government Glass House, Lokoja, said the motive is to redirect the young females to be refocused in life. The event tagged Groom the Girl Child for a Sustainable Future, emphasized how they should become successful as entrepreneurs and leaders in the society. The program also ensured young females were exposed to true knowledge of sex education to guide them on the right track. The event attracted government officials, civil society, and well-informed individuals. Our reporter has more.
Students of both secondary and tertiary institutions were present to be inspired for greater heights and as well guided to how to be good ambassadors of the society they belong. On leadership, the facilitator, the Kogi State Appeals Project Coordinator, Dr. Ozomata Abdullahi Sani, admonished them to build on their capacity to lead in the right direction.
To be a good leader, it involves the ability to understand feelings. You see, this is where you differentiate leaders from managers. The difference between the two is that the manager is already stereotyped. Whether it's right or not, there's no human face to read. But a leader will add a human face to read. All of you go out. Okay. So a leader will come and tell you, don't just go out, wait, I'll give you something before you go. So a leader is someone who knows the direction, shows the direction, aligns and influences, then motivates and inspires. So what you defined earlier are leaders. But putting all of that together is a what? Great leader. A leader knows the way. You can know the way, but you refuse to show the way. That doesn't make you a great leader.
He condemned a lukewarm attitude.
What is stress? When you are doing things you are not happy doing. You put a lot of effort, but you are not happy doing it. A lot of us are stressed up. But we don't know because we are tied down to the monetary gain or any other gain that comes with it. So, what I would like to say to you is, think of doing something that you love doing. And that's what we call passion. Are we together? That is what we call passion. If you don't do what you like doing, you will not be happy, no matter how much you make.
To have financial freedom has been tied to engaging in businesses rather than waiting to be employed by the government or individuals just to be collecting a monthly stipend. The managing director of the Kogi Enterprise Development Agency, KEDA, Rekia Onaivosani, exposed them to many aspects of trades or businesses they can pick on. She discouraged living without purpose, urged them to plan towards becoming employers of labor in nearest future.
In the fact that as soon as they finish school, they don't necessarily need to embrace to be waiting for white-collar job. There's a whole lot of things that entrepreneurship can lead them to. And people that are actually driving the world nowadays is entrepreneurship.
Basically, at this stage is first of all to open up their mind to see that there is a whole lot that they can do even as a student. They don't need to have so much cash to be able to start up these businesses. There are these soft skills that they can do. Why are we making this knowledge available? For them to know that there are opportunities in their state as co-guides, and then building their mind to grow up and embrace entrepreneurship in the nearest future.
And while the students were charged with how to make money for themselves and leading by example, the Association of Female Students invited the civil society activist, Eunice Abimbola Abogun, the CEO of Challenged Parenthood Initiative, CPI, to give insights into sex education. Abogun said sex education should form part of teaching curricular activities across primary and secondary schools.
It's important that schools see the need to include sexual education in schools starting from, very early age. In fact, students all through their life, their school life, should constantly, go through sexual education because it will help them to be able to be informed as well as take informed decisions.
She said lack of sex education has cultivated largely unwanted pregnancies among teenagers.
Out of curiosity, they are misled, to go to wrong places like the internet where they have negative influences, and that have negative, effect on them. So the advice today is that let's not be afraid to talk about sexual education. And with that, we believe that we'll be able to have youths that will grow to be healthy, to be safe, as well as live a very healthy life that will eventually have impact in the society.
A UK-based businesswoman and motivational speaker, Aisha Abubakar, advised them to believe in themselves. She also advised parents to nurture a girl child, even as she called on the government to also support females.
Your role model should be your mom or your parent, for instance. But that doesn't mean that if your mother or your parent is wayward, you must take their footsteps. And having said that, my advice to the parents, I know sometimes things really get out of hand, but nurture a girl child. Nurture a girl child, I said. Nurture a girl child, and the sky is not just your starting point. It's success all the way. We've got a lot of brilliant students. We can believe that things are very hard in the country at the moment. The parents cannot do it alone. If the government can come in and substitute for some of the school fees, give them some support, give the parents some support, I think that will go in a long way in sponsoring a girl child.
Some students and teachers, including youth leaders at the event, commended the initiative, saying it will go a long way to transform people's mindset.
Everything in life is about patience. We can see over time, some of our students, when they are home, they are at home, they behave very, very well, very, very religious. But when they go out there, the society quickly shame them. You can see a student wear hijab from the house. Coming out, they will just remove the hijab immediately, put it inside the bag, and start going out with a mini skirt and very tight jeans. Depends how you present yourself in the society that people follow you.
As a mother, I would say that we should take good care of our children physically, and then their spiritual life. We should be more concerned and teach them the right things to do. That is, when they want to make mistakes, they will remember all the teachings we'll be teaching them. Being on social media is a good thing, but you should know what you follow at each time. Not everything that pop up for you that you should click onto.
I actually categorize it as an eye-opener, especially always for the girls whose rights are usually infringed on, and we don't usually know what's going on in our society or in our government system. But now with the help of this program, it's actually telling us that we have every right to be involved with some decisions that are taken in the society. And also, there was something important I picked from one of our lecturers. She said, if you train a boy child, normally you're just training him and perhaps his family. But if you train a girl child, that is a woman, you actually train her children. Wherever she comes to, you turn out training the whole world. And another thing is that women are actually workaholics, even though there are lots of things in our society that is bringing them down when it comes to work, religion, marriage, all those. And they act as balance between responsibilities, work, and career. So I can actually say I'm very proud of myself.
I really appreciate their efforts. We appreciate the gathering. We love what they've done to enlighten us more on the issues of leadership, and they're taking about sexual education for us to know how to control ourselves and not to make mistakes in life.
The organizer and the chairperson of the association, Sabdat Jimo, expressed her joy and appreciated all persons that turned up for the program. She used the occasion to advise girl children on how to live with pride for their parents and the community they dwell.
My general advice to especially my mothers and brothers and sisters out there is that they should try as much as possible to provide all possible means to make sure our young girls out there are actually being guided and given the sense of orientation. They shouldn't be always be scolded, because sometimes when you scold children too much, they tend to grow wings and they want to have a free life. But when they scold them when they are wrong, they should define a perfect technique to scolding, then bring them closer and embrace them, because they are the future of tomorrow. We are the future of today, they are the future of tomorrow, and tomorrow is going to be a better place if they bring us up well. With the grace of God, we are coming up with a project where we'll be bringing back students that are supposed to be in school back to school. We'll be empowering them by taking them back to school, and as well mentor them, because some of these people are victims of early pregnancy. They may be rape, and the stigma and everything has hindered them from going to school. So what we'll do now is to discover them. When we get them, we'll try as much as possible to change their orientation and give them life and hope that they can do it. Then we'll enroll them in schools.
The representative of the Chief of Staff to the Governor, Abdulmumini Danga, commended the organizer, called for more advocacy on how to better the lives of girl children.
One, always think about who you are, where you are, and where you are going to. If you have these three things in your life, it will be difficult for you to be in the midst of negative people, a group of people that will definitely give you negative ideas and other things.
Awards of recognition in various capacities were given to those who have, through their offices, NGO, impacted girl child positively. Among them is the Chief of Staff to the Kogi State Governor, Abdulkarim Mohammed Jamiu Asuku. The program formed part of the annual event by the Association of Nigerian Female Students, Kogi State Chapter Mentor Day, to correct and direct female students on the right path to greatness in life. Khadijat Mohammed, reporting for MLC TV.
Mixed reactions greeted the disbursement of the new NAIRA notes that officially went into circulation on Thursday, with many bank customers demanding for the new notes, while a few others snubbed the latest bills in banking halls across major Nigerian cities. The newly redesigned 1,000 Naira, 500 naira and 200 naira bills finally became a legal tender on December 15, 2022, over 3 weeks after the President Muhammadu Buhari unveiled them at the weekly Federal Executive Council meeting. It was gathered from banking halls in several cities across the country, especially in Lagos and Abuja on Thursday. Observed that several bank branches had run out of the small quantities of the new notes allocated to them from their head offices as early as 12 noon. In Lagos, a number of the bank's branches had run out of their new note allocations. However, officials at some of the centers which still had the new notes said their allocations were very small. An official of Access Bank PLC at the Ojodu branch in Lagos, who spoke on condition of anonymity because he was not authorized to speak on the matter, said each cashier was given 100,000 naira of the new 1,000 naira bill for onward disbursements to customers seeking over-the-counter payments. Also, it was observed that the ATMs at the bank were dispensing only old naira notes. Customers were also seen depositing the old bills over the counter, while cashiers were paying out more of the old naira notes at the center. The federal government of Nigeria on Thursday opened the second Niger bridge between Asaba, Delta State, and Onitsha, Anambra State, to motorists for temporary use. The bridge was opened amid jubilation from road users. The government opened the bridge for temporary use for vehicles coming from the west to the southeast through Asaba from December 15, 2022 to January 15, 2023. Although it was a mixed feeling for residents of the zone, especially marketers who used to make business during gridlock, as they complained that the opportunity for them to make huge sales in traffic may not arise during this Christmas season. It was observed that vehicles were plying it from Asaba to Onitsha without any hitch. The motorists expressed excitement that the bridge would be a relief for road users as it is going to help decongest the old Niger bridge. The Minister of Works, Babatunde Fashola, said the temporary opening of the second Niger bridge was to decongest traffic from the old bridge during the Yuletide. There was heavy security presence at the bridge to ensure the safety of lives and properties of those plying the bridge on Thursday. Speaking to journalists, the chairman of the Great Tipas Association of Nigeria Anambra State Chapter, Chukwuebuka Munekwe, expressed excitement that the bridge would lead to the free flow of traffic at the Onitsha-Owerri Road, as smaller vehicles will now be reduced on that axis. Munekwe said although our trucks are not allowed to ply the road during this temporary opening, it is a relief to us because those smaller vehicles will now make use of that place, thereby reducing the number of vehicles at the old River Niger Bridge. Road users said the opening of the second Niger Bridge is a big relief to travelers, especially this Christmas period, to avoid the stress of passing the Onitsha Road head and as a blessing to the southeast, and it is a welcome development. And now to stories in politics. Reactions have continued to trail President Joe Biden's commendation of President Muhammadu Buhari for deepening democracy in Nigeria. The American president had in a meeting with the Nigerian president and his counterparts from Sierra Leone, Gabon, Madagascar, Congo Democratic Republic, and singled out Buhari for praise not only for his sustaining democracy in Nigeria, but across the African continent. Liberia, Biden praised President Muhammadu Buhari for his efforts in deepening democracy, not only in Nigeria, but also in Africa. A statement signed on Thursday by the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu. Reacting to the development, the spokesman of the Atiku Okowa Presidential Campaign Council, Charles Anyagu, said the commendation is an indication that Nigeria is on the right track. Presidential candidate of the African Action Alliance, Omoyele Sowore, however, said Biden was only being diplomatic to his guests. Sharing the same perspective, the National Secretary of the Young Progressive Patrick Vidiano Bamai, said democracy started dying gradually when the current president took over power. Also speaking, National Chairman of the All Progressive Grand Alliance, Victor Oye, said the American president is at liberty to express himself as he deems fit. Reacting, however, the spokesperson of the All Progressive Congress Presidential Campaign Council, Festus Keyamo, said the opposition is always attempting to seek attention even when it wasn't necessary. Keyamo said, "What we know is that Biden congratulated Buhari, not the PDP. We are taking the statement from Biden literally as of today. The PDP is just attempting to adulterate what the US president said, and that is what we are sticking to." We'll go on a short break now. We'll be right back. Please stay with us.
Get human interest stories right here on MLC TV with entertainment, sports, business, culture, tourism, and fashion news stories all featured on MLC TV. Not forgetting political and current affairs news, state and federal government and people's matters will be discussed regularly on MLC TV. MLC TV, your one-stop online destination for unbiased, accurate news, entrepreneur ideas, and youth matters to the rest of the world. MLC TV, reaching everywhere, informing everyone.
Welcome back, and now to stories in crime. A group known as the Kogi Development Collective has described the arrest and subsequent arraignment of a nephew to Kogi State Governor Ali Bello as a political witch hunt taken too far by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC. Bello was on Thursday alongside one Dauda Suleiman, ordered by a federal high court in Abuja to be remanded in prison after the EFCC charged them for money laundering to the tune of 10 billion naira. Operatives of the EFCC accused the duo of illegally withdrawing the sum of 10 billion naira from the coffers of the Kogi State government, but reacting to the development in a statement issued by the KDC coordinator, Usman Austin Omale. On Friday, the group alleged that the action of the EFCC was consistent with plans by some elements within the country to persecute Governor Bello for political reason. According to Omale, some shadowy elements whom he accused of being envious of Bello's rising political profile were allegedly behind the move. He further claimed that the group had continued to observe a deliberate pattern of well-planned systematic approach to deal with Bello since he made a bold attempt to contest the presidency early in the year, as well as championing the youth cause in the country. The group therefore counselled the FCC not to lend itself to the antics of mischief makers who might unwittingly seek to tarnish its image in the eyes of right-thinking Nigerians. And now to the foreign scene. Russian forces fired 16 missiles and carried out drone attacks across Ukraine on Friday. Officials said, striking the capital Kiev and cities in the north, south, and west. 2 people were killed and 5 wounded when a residential building was hit in Kyiv in central Ukraine. Power was completely down in Kharkiv in the north and several other regions. The alarm was raised across Ukraine, and Air Force spokesman Yuri Ignat said in a total 16 missiles had been fired. Earlier reports said drones were also involved. Kiev Mayor Vitaly Klitschko said 3 areas of the city were hit. Damage to energy infrastructure had affected water supplies, and city metro lines were for the moment not running. The head of the regional administration, Oleksiy Kuleba, said Russia was massively attacking Ukraine. Prime Minister Denis Shmyhal said this week that Russian strikes had damaged all thermal and hydroelectric power plants, leading to widespread blackouts and interruptions in heating and water supplies. Authorities say these attacks are Russia's response to military setbacks on the battlefield amid Ukraine's recent success in retaking occupied territory. 2 people died in shelling in the southern city of Kherson on Thursday, but air defenses in Kyiv brought down 13 drones targeting the capital on Wednesday. Russia's war in Ukraine has been losing momentum almost 10 months into its invasion, but Ukrainian Defense Minister Oleksiy Rendiskov warned there was mounting evidence that Russia was planning a broad new offensive, possibly early next year. 10 people, including 5 children, have been killed in a fire in an apartment building near Lyon, France, the local government says. Officials released a statement saying a sizable fire broke out in a 7-story block of flats in Vaux-en-Velin. As well as giving the number of dead, they said 4 people were in a critical condition and 10 others had reported minor injuries. They said 170 firefighters were sent to the scene at 3:25 and had extinguished the fire. Olivia Klein, the Minister Delegate of Cities and Housing for the Bonn region, tweeted on Friday morning, "The provincial tally sends chills down your spine." The Minister of the Interior, Gerald Damanin, said the cause of the fire is still unknown and praised the work of the firefighters who rescued people in extremely difficult conditions. He added that the children who died were all aged between 3 and 15. The French Home Secretary added that an inquiry into what sparked the fire will be launched later on Friday. And in sports, the incumbent president of the Nigerian Olympic Committee, Habu Gumel, has been elected for another term in office, defeating close challenger and former Minister of Sports, Sani Ndanusa, by 21 to 19 votes at the elective Congress of the NLC held in Jalingo, Taraba State on Thursday. With 21 out of the 40 votes, Gumel secured an absolute majority of 50% plus, won as the keenly contested election into the president's seat climaxed the Congress of the body, just as 8 other positions were also contested. Gumel's victory at the polls secured a 3rd consecutive term and a 5th term overall for the Jigawa-born 10C member, whose last 8 years in office has attracted heavy criticism. He was first elected as NLC president in 2002 and was in office until 2010. He returned again in 2014 and was in office till 2022 before winning another term at the election. Solomon Ogba of Bobsled and Skeleton Federation secured 24 votes to emerge as the first vice president against Francis Orbit of Badminton, who secured 16 votes, while Ishako Tikon of Table Tennis Federation ran unopposed for the second vice presidential position and secured 38 votes. Representative of the athletes in the body and the former The Tigers captain Olumide Oyedeji secured 24 votes to emerge as the 3rd president against Daniel Igali of the Wrestling Federation, who had 15 votes, while Maria Wopfield of the Athletics Federation had 1 vote. Olabisi Joseph of School Sports Federation will serve as the 4th vice president after polling 23 votes to beat Rashina Tugarba and Hawa Akiyemi. For other positions, Tunde Popola of Hockey Federation won the General Secretary seat with 24 votes. Abdullahi Mohammed emerged as the Deputy General Secretary unopposed, while President of the Nigerian Basketball Federation Musa Kida will serve as Treasurer and Tony Nezianya as Public Relations Officer. After the rounds of voting, Chairman of the Electoral Committee, Ibrahim Galadima, confirmed the return of the elected officers who will run the affairs of the NLC for the next 4 years. Portugal football manager Fernando Santos has been sacked following the team's World Cup exit. Portugal were one of the favorites to win the competition in Qatar, but were knocked out by Morocco in the quarter-finals. The manager had enjoyed success with the national side as he helped them to the trophy at Euro 2016. But 2 years after he was appointed, Portugal also won the 2019 Nations League finals on the Santos. The qualifying campaign for Euro 2024 starts on the 23rd of March next year as Portugal takes on Liechtenstein. The Portuguese FA would like to have the current Roma boss, Jose Mourinho, in position well before the next campaign. This would be to allow him time to identify Portugal's top talents for a new tactical system. It is believed that Portugal chiefs are prepared to let Mourinho work both roles should Roma agree to the arrangement. Should MOU replace Santos, one of his first tasks will be to decide the future of Cristiano Ronaldo. A Polish referee, Szymon Marciniak, has been chosen to oversee the Qatar 2022 World Cup final between Argentina and France on Sunday. According to Sports Center, FIFA referee chairman Pierluigi Colina has picked Marciniak as the man for the tournament's big match. That is after the 41-year-old's strong performances, referencing both finalists in the World Cup's earlier stages. The Polish ref officiated France's 2-1 win over Denmark in the group stage. Marciniak also called Argentina's 2-1 victory against Australia in the last 16. His experience refereeing both competitors means he has convinced he has what it takes to manage the finale. And now to entertainment news. Let's now join Matthias Ayodeji for the update.
On our foreign entertainment news, actor David Oyelowo, in conjunction with British TV, Fremantle, and Richard Jones Argo Films, is developing a limited series with the BBC about Biafra. The story of Biafra takes place in both Nigeria and the United Kingdom, and it alternates between the present day and the 1967 to 1970 Biafra War. Deadline reports that the series will blend a character-driven personal story with the themes of family, identity, and belonging at its core, seen through the perspective of a young black British woman. The actor described the story as a treasure to him and one he has been waiting to see come to life at a high standard of production. Jones, who launched his Argo Films just a week ago, explained that the series is a chance to tell a powerful story about discovering and reclaiming a lost identity and a forgotten history. Although yet to be greenlight, Ngozi Owura is reported to be co-developing the story and is set to direct the series, while Bola Agbaje functions as the writer. Yvonne Isememe Mbazobil of Turnover Films and Kristen Vespa of Fremantle are also executive producers, in addition to Jones and Oyelowo. Crossing over to Africa, Asake has released a statement addressing the cancellation of his London show over a security breach. During his sold-out show at the O2 Academic Bristol, the singer was forced to cancel his show midway through as many fans who didn't have tickets tried to forcefully gain access to the show. It was reported that 8 people had been taken to the hospital, with 4 in a critical condition after a suspected crash during the event in London. On his Instagram page, the singer released a statement addressing the unfortunate incident. Asake said his heart is with those who were injured at the concert and that he is in the process of reaching out to the individuals. The organized singer also appreciated his fans and the love they had for him, stating that he hoped to see them soon. The police are currently investigating the incident and have also appealed to anyone with information to come forward. The show, which was abandoned halfway through, was the third of 3 sold-out shows the Nigerian singer had performed in Brixton. And that is on our entertainment news today. My name is Matthias Ayodeji Peter, reporting for MLC TV.
Thank you, Matthias, for the update. And that is the size of our package today. Please join us at the same hour to watch our news as we give you updates on happenings within and across the globe. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Malachite TV. Like and follow our Facebook page, MLC TV, Instagram, MLC TV 2021, and Twitter at MLC TV 1. For your event coverage, information contribution, advert and sponsorship, please call any of our numbers displayed on your screen. It's Malachite TV, reaching everywhere, informing everyone. I am Mono Balagubu. Please continue to be your brother's keeper to build a united and peaceful society together. Thanks for watching.